You should say hi.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Project Prevent November statewide meeting. Thank you guys that are attending live, and thank you also to those of you that are taking time to watch the recording. This is Laura. I have Stephanie here with me, and I also have some friends here with me. If it sounds a little different, we are coming at you live from Heifer Village in Little Rock right now today. Let me figure out how to work this. There we go. We're at the Coordinated School Health Meeting where some friends of mine, some Project Prevent chapter members from East Village Junior High and Hot Springs East, were able to be part of a student panel for the Coordinated School Health meeting. They meet quarterly, and it's school districts from all over the state. The Department of Education hosts the Department of Health. So I wanted to thank Ashton and Keyshawn from East Dem and Sandler and Lauren from Hot Springs for coming today. And I wanted you guys to just kind of briefly tell them what you were able to discuss as a student panel at the Coordinated School Health meeting just now.
Some things that we discussed were like how we thought that adults could help, I guess, encourage students and youth to not start, and I guess to basically help them and basically let them know that there's a safe place for them to talk if they need anything, any help.
Want to add anything to that, Sandler? Go ahead.
Ooh, we also talked about the ideas that they can push on them to say, hey, this isn't right, and just give them more mental help than physical help.
Yeah, thank you. That was Lauren and Sandler. And then I wanted to hear from Ashton and Keyshawn, too. The focus of the Coordinated School Health meeting today is on vaping and e-cigarettes, specifically in schools. So they had a lot of school nurses, classroom teachers, and even principals and superintendents that are here, and they were able to ask them questions. And I want to see if Ashton, Keyshawn, if you can kind of tell us what you thought was the most important thing that you guys were able to cover with the panel today.
I think the most important thing was learning how to deal with it. If you have friends who are trying to press you into doing it, it has to do with peer pressure and self-control if you're at parties or at any out-of-school activities.
Keyshawn?
What I learned was like some of the positive and the negative thoughts about e-cigarettes and like how it can affect us in many ways.
Okay, good. Thank you, guys. They're going to hang out with us for the rest of the statewide meeting. So I am so thankful you guys were able to come and do that today. I always hear adults, their teachers and health professionals, they keep saying, like, we've got to figure out how to talk to these young people about vaping. Well, the best method I've found is to get young people to talk to young people. And you guys, all of the Project Prevent chapter members across the state have been so effective in talking to your friends and talking to the elementary kids and middle school kids about smoking and dipping and especially vaping. And it's just so much more effective to hear it coming from someone your own age. So I think our internet is a little, maybe slightly sketchy here at Heifer, but the slides seem to be moving kind of slow. So if the screen doesn't change, and I'm just going to keep going with it. But I wanted to do a quick update of our membership, and I used to do this last school year all the time because we were growing like crazy, our membership across the state. But if you remember, we started putting chapters in schools and in Boys and Girls Clubs and church youth groups back in the fall of 2017. So 2 years ago, this time of year, we had 20 chapters across the state in 16 counties. We, within a year, were able to double that membership to 40 chapters in 34 counties. So a huge jump just within a year. So this time last year, we had 40 chapters all over the state. And if you can see the map kind of changing. So jump to fall of 2019, this year, we're able to make another huge jump and increase to 64 chapters in 44 counties. So again, just like major growth for Project Prevent. I couldn't be happier. This concept of having chapters in schools and in youth groups has been probably the best thing that has happened to youth tobacco prevention in the history of ever for Arkansas. So I'm so thankful to have you guys. I want to talk a little bit about the conference, and I know all four of you were at the conference, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So everyone here was at the conference. We had a huge turnout. We had registered over 400 students, and then there were a couple of schools that had to back out at the last minute just for some unfortunate circumstances, but we had over 300 kids in attendance, and if you can see the picture of the auditorium, we couldn't get all of the students on the stage for a group picture this year because there were too many of us, which is a good thing. So this is Stephanie's picture, like the pano of the whole crowd. That auditorium seats 475, so you can see that it is completely full. So just some pictures from the conference. We had Wrangler from Arkansas High School in Texarkana did the welcome, and while it wasn't as student-led this year, it was extremely student-involved. So all the workshops were hands-on, where students were, you guys were broken up into groups, and you were working on different ideas like an elementary campaign or sharpening your presentation skills and that type of thing. I had so much fun. It went by so fast. But Stephanie and I had been working on it, and we could not have been happier with the turnout, and it seemed like everybody had fun. I think everybody really enjoyed, of course, the DJ, but also the scavenger hunt was fun. We're going to be able to do some creative things with some of those videos that you guys were able to submit. So to just kind of recap the student feedback, we did evaluation cards, and over 80% of all the students there gave either 4 or 5 stars for every single breakout session, and then some of the comments we highlighted on our social media too, so we had some really good feedback from you guys. Some of the things that the students didn't like was the food, was the lunch and the breakfast, so we hear you and we're working on it. Apparently it's quite a challenge to feed 500 people, so sometimes boxed lunch is what you get. That's what we're having today at the coordinated school health meeting. But I hear you, and we're going to definitely address that next year. There were a lot of schools that had to drive a long way that were able to spend the night, and it was right there at the 4-H center, so I think that was really helpful for some of you that have to travel a long way. I still want to see the day where all of our chapters are able to attend, so we're working on some creative ways to make space for everybody for next year. So we had good feedback for the most part from the students, and then from the advisors as well. They did an online evaluation, and all 4 of the breakout sessions were scored really high also. So we're thankful for that. And then I wanted to, if I can see this, just kind of go over some of the comments that we received from the advisors. So when we asked what their favorite part of the day was, it was kind of all over the board. Like some said it was the complete the sentence activity, which was working on like how you deliver the message. Some said it was coming up with the elementary campaign. Some said they loved the scavenger hunt and the DJ, and then just the interaction with different schools and being able to interact with each other. So a lot of great feedback. I did ask if there's anything that the advisors did not like about the day, and a couple of things that came up more than once was that you guys missed having the advisor class or the advisor session, and we hear you, and we're going to bring that back next year. Another thing that one of you mentioned is the grouping of the ages. So we did something different for our younger grades than we did for our older grades. And then there's kind of that divide where we had some middle schools that could have gone either way. What we are planning to do next year, and we kicked this idea around this year and it just didn't quite pan out, but we are planning to do a completely separate conference for our elementary grades. So 4th through 6th grade will most likely have their own conference next year, and then 7th through 12th will be at the 4-H center. But don't hold me to that. I'm saying it's like 90% sure right now. I think that it would be a little bit more effective that way. But we're growing, and that's a great thing. And then another thing that someone mentioned was they think that it would be, I said, is there anything else you'd like to share? And someone mentioned it highlighting the achievements of each school or the projects that you guys have done so you can kind of get ideas from each other, which I think is a fabulous idea. And Stephanie and I started working on that. And some of you might remember that we asked you for some pictures because we were planning on doing like a poster session to highlight your activities. It was kind of a late in the game thought that did not come to fruition, so we kind of had to scrap it, but it's a great idea. And that's also why these statewide meetings are so helpful too, because you guys can see what each other are working on and steal ideas from each other, but I do want to add that to the conference next year too. So it was just a list of the comments. Speaking of all the things that you guys are doing, all the awesome projects, I just have been so amazed at some of the things that you guys are coming up with. And some of them are so outside of the box, and some of them are so simple, but it's like a no-brainer that they're just such good ideas. So I'll start with the poster that was created at Mountain Home Junior High. It's a piece of paper. It's not an elaborate poster, but the message was so simple that it just said, 7 people have died from vaping. Are you next? Stop vaping now. Just a very simple poster. But what they had to do, as you guys know, that's been in the news, these deaths and these lung injuries have just really started climbing. Like every week we have more and more. So they had to cross out 7 and write 10, I think, and cross out that and write 12 and cross that out and write 17 and all the way up to 33, which was, I guess, a week or so ago. Now our death toll for vaping-related illnesses in the United States is up to 37 and 1,888 cases of people that have been hospitalized for lung injuries. So this is crazy. It's been like just in the last few months that they've been keeping up with this, and it's been just like in the news nonstop. CDC has given it a new name, EVALI, E-V-A-L-I, which stands for e-cigarette and vaping associated lung injury. And it's been in the news constantly. So you can actually keep up with the CDC numbers every week. They update it on their website. If you just go to cdc.gov and search vaping, it'll give you take you to a page where you can click on the latest outbreaks. If we have time at the very end, I can show you how to navigate that, but it's very easy to find. So I thought that was a good, just like a very simple project that Mountain Home did, and it's just so eye-catching because they had to continue to like mark that number out like every week or so. I want to also highlight Lisa Academy, because there's a couple of different things that they have done. They've created a video, an anti-vaping video, and I'll show it at the end. I have it pulled up so I can show you guys that's fantastic. They've also ordered a podcast microphone because they're starting their own podcast. Again, just like really outside of the box. So great job, Lisa. We'll come back for Tobacco Nose video here in just a second. This is Charleston. If you can see the poster of on the wall of the effects of smoking after 15 years. So they took pictures of students and teachers and did the 15-year like smoker app thing, and it has the pictures of their faces before and after 15 years. They've been doing presentations with their lungs, the smoker's lung. They've done some different booths and things around vaping. So they've been extremely busy. And also wanted to mention that Melbourne and Ashdown have hosted vaping presentations where they've had their local legislators involved. So in Melbourne, Senator Sturch, I believe I got that right, was there. He spoke about vaping himself. He was their guest, but the Project Prevent students presented as well. And in Ashdown, they did the same thing. They had Tanil Stanger from the Department of Health was able to present on vaping, and they had their state representative, Deanne Vaught, was there with them too. So this is a great way for you guys to get the attention of those in the government that are able to make laws and make policies about things that we know are harming our health in general. So I really thought that was a great outside-of-the-box thinking. Then I want to touch on Barton Junior High brought in a special guest. He's a national speaker, Ray Lorenzo. And I saw him at something that Extreme Youth did maybe last year or the year before. He's a great speaker. I didn't have a picture of Barton, but this is a picture from Ray's website, where you could look into booking him as a speaker. Also, if that's something that you're interested in, it can be kind of pricey. Miss Carey said it was around $6,000 for 2 days. But if you have a partnership with any other coalition, or if you can find grants from like your county community foundation, that type of thing, he'd be a great speaker to have. So I'm so thankful that he was able to come down to El Dorado with you guys. And then the picture to the right is our friends in Des Arc, who were so kind to come out in the rain with us during Red Ribbon Week. The Des Arc Police Department got their first prescription drop box. So, for prescription take back day where people turn in their unused medicines, this box will stay there from now on. So people in Desart can get rid of their old medicines so that people don't abuse them and ultimately overdose on unused medications. I want to mention that now the empty like Jewel pods and empty e-liquid containers can also go in those drop boxes too. It turns out, no surprise, that they're harmful to the environment as well. So we don't want people flushing them or throwing them in the trash. We want them to go into the drop box so they can ultimately be incinerated because they're so harmful. Who would have thought? Okay, here we go. So Green Forest is busy again. They visited a local radio station and they recorded anti-vaping PSAs, public service announcements. So we have some pictures of them there at their radio station, and I want to get the audio from those. This Balaje still needs to send me the audio. It would be great if it's something that we could use like on a statewide level too. So this is something that Hot Springs did last year, right, guys? Was that last year or the year before? You guys did the radio ads.
That was last year.
Yeah. So the vaping radio ads. Yeah. So that's a great project, especially if you have a local radio station too. And a lot of times they'll donate the airtime where you guys don't have to pay for that. Those public service announcements are oftentimes free. Good job, Green Forest. I wanted to show Taking Down Tobacco is a free training through the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, and Nashville was able to train 75 students on taking down tobacco. So if that's something that is just great education for any student, and it is free, so that could be something that could be implemented in like homeroom or in your health classes or just your Project Prevent students. But anyone that wanted to go through that training, it's free as well. Taking Down Tobacco, you can search that, and again, it's part of the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids. And then Coach Newsom in Mountain Home shared with me the real cost has like a virtual reality type I don't know, kind of like a video game, but it's not a video game. But it's called What's in a Vape, and you enter this room, and it's like a basement with a I don't know, there's like maybe a pool table and a desk, and there's just like a ton of stuff in this basement. But you can navigate through the room and click on different things, and it gives you information about the harmful effects of vaping and that type of thing. It's really cool. It'd be neat to do in the classroom. And then this is a picture of posters that Harrisburg was able to put up in their school that Be Shareable. If you guys haven't seen these, that's a CDC campaign. It kind of goes back to what Charleston had done with that smoking app. So those Be Shareable posters are great too. So Harrisburg has those up now. I wanted to say too that, gosh, you guys have so many things going on. Valley View did a float in their parade. Hamburg's working on their Christmas parade float, or I don't know if you guys are doing a float if you're just walking in the Christmas parade, but that's something that a lot of you guys do each year just to be able to spread awareness and promote Project Prevent, so that's fantastic. Cross County High School has their own Snapchat account now, so they're able to use that with their students and put different messages on their Snapchat account. And Oaklawn Magnet, I know you just hosted a pumpkin light night where you guys had different displays. I know you guys have been so busy, and like I said, I could not be more proud of all the work that you guys have been doing. I wanted to remind you that ReadySet Report is still open for grades 8 through 12. If you guys have thought about making a video, if you're working on a video, I know ESTEM has been. Yes. It's open until December 15th. You can submit those videos. It has to be converted into a YouTube video. And, we lost our website, but we have a web page on the Department of Health's website, and there's the link there. And I can also include that when I send out the recording today. But you have until the 15th to turn that in. It's cash prizes, so students can win money. The teacher that works with them can win money, and schools can win money too. We'll announce the winners in January, and then we have a film festival in February where we show all of the winning videos. And then usually we'll take one or two of those videos and we'll use them throughout the year, the ones that we think are really good and relatable. So last year, one of our winners, we played it at all of the Arkansas Travelers home baseball games. So it was like 72 games. The video was on the jumbo screen every game. So let me know if you have questions about ReadySet Record. I wanted to remind you guys to stay connected with us on our social media. Something big happened last week that I'll tell you about. But first, I just wanted to remind you, we have, of course, Facebook and Instagram, but also our YouTube channel is where all of our statewide meetings are listed. But also, some of you had asked about the videos that we showed at the conference. We showed the Then and Now video from Texas, the MD Anderson Aspire video, and then just several different videos from like the Truth Initiative. So we have those in a playlist on our YouTube channel too, so you guys can pull them easily from there. You know what? The font kind of messed up on this. We're on the laptop, so we're struggling a little bit today. Let me go back. I wanted Stephanie to be able to announce the Trivia Tuesday winners from Instagram. So no funny names, just normal names this week, huh?
Sad.
Yeah.
So the Trivia Tuesday winners for this week are Morgan.Ratcliffe and Anson Hyper. And so congrats to you two. We'll tag you on our social media, so make sure you're following that, and then you can reach out to me and we will get you your prize in the mail. And November, we might talk about this later, but is also Lung Cancer Awareness Month. So that was the trivia for this week. It was all about lung cancer and things like that. And so we'll be doing more trivia on lung cancer awareness and lung cancer trivia throughout the month. So make sure that you log on and do that, and you could win a prize too.
And do you want to go ahead and tell them about what happened last week?
Such exciting news. Sadly, no one has been as excited as we are, but Bobby Bones liked one of our photos on our Instagram account, which is so exciting. If you don't know who Bobby Bones is, he's a country radio personality. He has like 1 million followers on Instagram. He has the little blue check mark. He's legit. He won Dancing with the Stars a couple years ago, or a year ago maybe.
I think I have that, yeah.
And so Laura did a presentation at Hohen, I think, and that is the home of Justin Moore, who is a country singer. And they were telling us that their school that Friday was playing Mountain Pine, which is where Bobby Bones is from. So 2 Arkansas people. And so we made a little post out there about them and tagged both of them. And so somehow Bobby Bones saw it and he liked it. So we're very excited about that.
We have officially arrived. Okay, I'm going to pull up and let's see if I'm going to show Lisa Academy's video. Hopefully there's not a lot of lag, but if so, for you guys that are watching it live, hopefully the recording will kind of catch up. But this is the video from Lisa Academy West. such a good job. Hold on, let me not let the next one play. I want to show you.
What I learned later, when you make a website for your...
Okay, we don't want that. I want to show you guys quickly how to find that information on CDC about the most current outbreaks, but while I'm pulling it up, I want to ask Hot Springs and EastM if they want to tell us a little bit about the projects that they're working on or that they're planning that they have coming up. We'll start with EastM.
One of the projects that we are doing is we're going to pick up cigarette butts and trash from one of the streets in downtown Little Rock.
And so when we pick up the cigarette butts off the street, we are gonna count how many we pick up, so we can show people around Little Rock like what people are doing when they get done smoking a cigarette and just trashing their cigarette butts all around Arkansas.
Oh, I love it. And do you guys remember, those of you that came to the conference, we had the cigarette butts were like taking over the world because they were the most littered item on the planet. Yeah, excellent. And the city of Little Rock has had some discussion about going smoke-free for the whole city, so maybe that'd be something that could really make them think. Very good. Okay, and Hot Springs, what do you guys have coming up?
Right now we're working on two main things. Our first thing that we're working on is our ReadySet Report video.
Yay!
And we're also working on gathering data to change an ordinance for smoking in downtown Hot Springs.
Awesome. Fantastic. And so Lauren at Hot Springs is in 9th grade, and she's been a Project Prevent member since the 7th grade. Yeah, so since we started Project Prevent, they were one of our original chapters, and she's one of our original members. And you guys won a ReadySet Record category once with your video with the rocks, which I loved. Okay, so if you can see the screen now, I just went to cdc.gov, and in their search box, I'm going to put in vaping, and it will be the first thing that pops up, the outbreak of lung injury associated with the use of e-cigarettes. And if you just kind of scroll, there's a lot of information here, but if you just scroll down to latest outbreak information, this is updated this is updated every Thursday. So as of October 29th, that's where you see the 1,888 cases, the 37 deaths, and it'll tell you where those deaths were, which state. It breaks down demographics of male, female, and age. The youngest death was 17. That's here, which is awful. The youngest hospitalization for the lung injury was 13. By age group, for the lung injuries, 14% of them were under 18 and 40% were age 18 to 24. So it's definitely something that's affecting our young people. So that's a good resource if you guys are looking for new information. Again, that's updated every Thursday. I wanted to leave with our contact information, but we do have just a few minutes left for questions. And I'm going to open it up now. Let me pull up my chat so I can see. If you have questions you want to type in the chat, or if you want to speak up now, you can do that. And either I can answer your questions, or I have students here that can answer questions. Oh, hi. I see Miss Sullivan, Lisa. See you guys. Thank you for being able to call in. And Coach Newsom and Tawana. Okay, well, if you guys don't have any questions, you have our contact.
Hey, Laura.
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
Laura, this is Keith Newsom at Mountain Home Junior High.
Hello, Mountain Home Junior High.
One of our Hey, great job today. One of our students won the Trivia Tuesday. Can you repeat what that we need to do?
Hooray! Yes.
For the winner?
They need to email Stephanie, and her email is up. Let me see if it's here. It's Bell, BELLSM @archildrens.org. They just need to let Stephanie know that they're a winner, and she needs their home mailing address so she can.
We're gonna tag them on Instagram.
Oh, and also she's also going to tag them on Instagram so they could message her. They could DM her on Instagram. They can email her or message her on Instagram, and she'll get their prizes in the mail. Way to go, guys! I was stumped on one of the.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. The last question, I wasn't fast enough this week. Okay, well, thank you guys again. You guys are doing awesome work. Like I said, I'm just blown away every month and all of the reports that come in. And I get to see all of the wonderful things you guys are doing and the pictures that you send. I can't thank you enough for doing what you're doing. You are making a difference, and we're going to beat this thing eventually, one way or another. So keep up the great work. Thank you, guys.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
I need something sweet.
So, like, when I